What's up? Another video from the village. This is my youngest daughter's spot back there, and there's a couple more up there. But this is the youngest daughter. This is Joanne, her place. And it's truly, she told me how amazing it feels to be 13 and kind of have her own house. She'll be 14 next month. And while she doesn't have her own house, she kind of does. It's kind of like her own room. It's just not attached to mine. But, I had some insecurity and some uncomfortability about doing life this way and taking this leap here, doing this village style. But I really, really, really want to create more. I want to be part of more. I want to teach more. So I chose to do this because it's what I could do. I don't have $1 million. I don't come from a wealthy family. I don't even come from a very, I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, I've always wanted different from my family. I wanted different from my kids. I wanted different from my life. I wanted different from my children. And in the last few years, I've learned some real big realities about life, about people. Some truths, for me, truths, but realities about people. And for a while, I was feeling really let down and disappointed by these people. And then I realized that's just how people are. And that if I could have behaved in certain ways before and changed, then I'm capable of the same thing these people have. But, I felt kind of screwed over the last few years. I felt screwed for a long time, I kind of felt like I got let down by my family, and then I got let down by society, and got let down by a lot of people. But what I didn't realize is I was kind of letting myself down the whole time, more so than anything. And the clearer I've gotten about what I want, really clear about what I want, I've realized there's so much I don't have to do. I don't have to participate in. I don't have to believe. I don't have to be a part of. I don't have to. And I've realized how much I get to do, and I get to be with my kids. I get to be with them. And I have 5 kids. I had 5 kids, and I get to be with them. And I didn't always feel that way. I wanted to be with them. I really did, but I didn't feel like it was a privilege to get to be with them. I just felt like it's what I wanted to do. But it was because I was confused, and I was trying to live by other people's standards and ways of life and doing things, and it kept me feeling very lacking in so many ways. And what I've realized the last few months is I put a lot of weight and pressure on other people, and I neglected a lot of things in life that I really wanted to pay attention to, but mostly myself and what I really wanted, because other people didn't want the same things I did. So I've struggled. And it's really become more clear the last couple of months, because in the last couple of years, since having left our business that we were doing before, and how I've changed things over to doing coaching and doing my art, in my life, my partner, has decided different things than I have, and he has different desires than I do, or at least has a different belief around them, or idea of how he wants to live or be, or carry out those responsibilities, or those commitments he has, or the way he wants to do his life. And that's totally cool and totally fine with me. And that's, I support that. I support choice, even if I don't like other people's choices. I support their choices. I support the freedom they have to have those choices. But in all of that, it's left me with a 20-year relationship that produced, well, I started out young, and had my son, and a failed relationship, And then I moved and separated and went through the whole divorce thing and with my first husband. And so I had my son, but over 20 years, my husband and I had 4 children together and business and all these other things that he was a large part of the financial side of a lot of that. And I was the homemaker. I was the one building our future with our children and doing things at home and taking care of kids and running the background. Hi, Dorothy. So I also didn't, do things the traditional route that most people do, as in, education, going to school, getting jobs, things like that. So I went the route of I had my first kid. I got pregnant at 15, had my first kid when I was 16, and I've been doing mom home life alongside business my entire life, but I've had partnership in business. And that's changed a lot in the last 4 years. That's changed a lot as far as the financial support that I've had. And so I still have a vision. I still have a dream. I still have wants. And that's changed a lot over the last 4 years, too, of the direction I wanted to go with my family. Because my family has a voice in that as well. My children aren't babies anymore. My oldest is 25 and the next one is 20 almost. So these kids are deciding for their own life, and they have made choices that are so much in alignment with my own that we all mutually decided that we didn't want to live the way we were living anymore, and we wanted to do it different. We wanted to start something different. So I made a lifelong choice investment to sell off my goods, sell off my stuff, sell my things and leave that life of stuff and leave the life of houses and debt and financial responsibilities that I don't really want, in order for me to be able to come here and live and be with my children in a way that will create futures for all of us, that creates abundance for all of us. So we're doing without a few things now that we're used to having by living off grid. And living off grid is a totally different thing from what I'm doing with my family. But, it's not a sacrifice to us to be able to live this way together. And when you want something, and when you have an idea and a plan and a mission and a goal in mind, you're willing to find a way to make it happen no matter what. You're willing to stay committed. You're willing to get focused. You're willing to do what it takes. And that's why we're here. I've experienced all kinds of other kinds of living, and we want a different future. I don't want to be pinned to a dollar bill the rest of my life. I don't want my children, feeling like they have to find a job in order to live. I know differently. I know better ways to live than living based off of a job. My situation here is that I created these kids and these children. Some of them are still young, some of them are older, but some of them are still young, and I still feel a very much responsibility for them. And so in order for me to provide and take care of them in the way that I feel responsible, in the way that I want to, in a fashion of not doing it by the way somebody else wants to just because I feel like I can't afford it, I found other options. I found other ways. I found other choices to make in order to get what I'm after. And what I'm after is connection, is love, is support, is community, is a village of people that that care, that want to be part of each other's lives, that want to be part of each other's experience, and want to be part of each other for who they are, not what they can get from each other, not for how they show up for each other necessarily. It's how they show up for themselves, and so how they provide for themselves, how they care for themselves. Because if somebody can't care for themselves, they really can't care for other people. And I know this firsthand because I mean, getting pregnant at 15 and having a baby, yeah, I wanted to do it, but I didn't know what I was doing. And even though I could feed and change diapers and do that, I didn't love myself. And so it was very hard to truly nurture and love him in ways that will really serve him. I just kind of repeated cycles and ways and behaviors of things that I had seen, and they weren't exactly great. And so it's taken me a long time to understand what exactly I needed to put in place for self-discipline and my own personal boundaries. But once I have, I've been able to share those with my family, and my family wants what I want. And it's not because I'm enforcing it or pushing it or making it or telling them. It's because it's real. And they feel my realness, and they feel my legitness with them, and they feel my honesty, and they feel my transparency. And, they know when I fuck up, and they know when I'm hurting, and they know so many things because I'm willing to share. I'm willing to be transparent. I'm willing to be me. And I'm doing what I can daily to be the best version I can of me, and to let go of all the things that have layered me up with hurt and pain and trauma throughout my life, and just be me. And the more I do that, the more they want to be part of it. So I'm not living here doing what I'm doing because, I'm doing it because I found an option to get to do what I want to do. And they're so excited about it. They support it. They want to be part of it. So it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling that I had to share with you. So go after your dreams, go after what you want, and don't ever let anybody tell you no, that it's not worth it, that you can't. What can you do? What can you do? You're only one person. You can do a lot. What can you do? You didn't graduate from school. You can still do a lot. What can you do? You don't believe the way I do. Well, I can still do a lot. Everybody can do a lot. So do what it is that drives and sets you on fire, and you're going to find peace. Because my life is completely different than it was 3 months ago. 3 months ago, I had 3,500 square foot home and 10,000 square feet to roam on that was fenced in and concrete, and bedrooms for everybody, and an art studio and a theater and a big old kitchen that was decked out with a big ass fridge and stove and all these things. And now I'm sitting here on the side of this mountain, and I don't own a stove and an oven yet at this point, because I haven't found the one I want. I want one that's efficient. Actually, I found the one I want. I just don't want to spend the money on the one I want yet, because I have other things going on. Look at that girl, that fatty back there. She's laying back there lounging. But yeah, so I know the stove I want. I just don't want to spend the coin yet on it. However, the only stove I have is in Bob, and it's not the one I'm keeping. So yeah, life is transformed in so many ways. I don't have a home, but I do have a home. I have a beautiful piece of property that, look, I'll show you. Look at this. Look at that beauty. It's everywhere. Well, that's not, but it is. It's badass. So I have a lot. I have so much. I appreciate everything I have, even though my life literally is transformed so much in 3 months. And my personal life is transformed, my relationship, my personal marriage and relationship is completely transformed. But I'm happier than I've ever been in my whole life. And I have less stuff than I've ever had. It's great. It's awesome. Ow! An ant is biting me. So anyway, peace out. Have an awesome day. I'm gonna go. Peace. And love is the way to be. The only way free is through you. Through your dreams. See ya. Peace.